Hey everyone, welcome to this video lesson for my arrangement of the Cuckoo for three-finger or bluegrass style banjo. This is a super cool tune and I'm always jealous of clawhammer players being able to play it. So I did an arrangement here and I think it's super fun, so I'm happy to share it with you. It's also a good little lesson on playing in G minor. So I'm capoed on the 2nd fret, spiked on the 2nd fret here, so I'm playing it in A minor technically, but we're going to think about it like G. I've seen people put the capo on the 5th fret and play it like C. People doing it open, playing it in G. Yeah, so tabs will be in the video. If you want PDF of the tabs or just to support me or a PDF of the lead sheet, that'll all be available on the link in the Patreon. So check that out. So I'm going to play through this, then we'll talk about it. So maybe I'll start with the vamp. She's a pretty bird, and she wobbles when she flies. She never hollers cuckoo till the 4th day of July. Gonna build me a log cabin on a mountain so high, so I can see Willie as he goes on by. Okay, so that is the Cuckoo. So there's a couple things we have to talk about with this tune. So first off, I'm just going to talk about playing in the key of G minor. Most of this tune is just a G minor chord. But because, again, I'm capoed on the 2nd fret, but I'm pretending like I'm not, I'm just going to talk about it like it's G minor. Technically, it's A minor. So rather than, like normally we're tuned to a nice big G major chord. So we don't like playing in G minor, right? We don't have a G minor chord that's really easy to get. So what we tend to do is we just avoid that 2nd string, right? So I can play something, if I'm going to pinch, instead of pinching all 3, I'll just pinch 2 notes. So I could just do this like 3 pinch, 4 pinch, and that would work on G minor, right? Because I'm not getting in the way of the, oh, the cuckoo, right? But to make it a little more minor, we can add these notes, the notes of the pentatonic scale. So this B flat is very minor. That's really what actually makes it minor. And this F is quite minor. So if I throw those in, so for example, the easiest thing I can think of is to go 3 pinch 4 and then hammer on the F here. As soon as I do that, we hear that minor sound. Oh, the cuckoo, she's a pretty bird. Right? We can also do things like, if you know the lick, we can do that in minor by changing the B to B flat and changing the E to F. So just trying to hit those notes that are on 3 instead of the other notes. Right, that's the minor version. So if you know this, it's pretty easy to play the minor one. Right? We can also play pretty much anything that's in the G minor scales, pentatonic scale. So I'll put this up. It's just G, B flat, C, D. Right? And back down D, C, B flat, G, F, D, F, G. So if you notice, if I keep my 1st finger here on that 2nd string, so people often do this just in case, because you can hit that note, it doesn't sound too bad. If you hit this note, you're getting the major chord, right? So I'll often keep my finger right around there, and just these notes sound all minor. So you can throw them around. The melody is comprised of almost exclusively those notes. So if you know that little scale, it makes this a lot easier. It makes it easier to come up with your own little things here. Yeah, another one I kept doing there was this little, which is just a pentatonic scale down. Nice little lick to throw in there, so I'll put that up. Okay, so the form of this tune. When the verses are happening, it's really just one chord, and then we have one bar of an F chord here. So technically this is G, A minor and G, but we're thinking of it as G minor and F. So we have this, oh, the cuckoo, and this is just G minor. She's a pretty bird, and she warbles. Now here we go to the F chord. When she flies, it's just one bar, and then we're back to the G. Gonna build me a log cabin on the mountain so high. That's it. Now, a couple things I'll mention here is one thing I will do often is instead of just going straight to the F chord, I'll try to put this little E note in to pass it. F. So you'll notice that I did that a little bit when I was playing the chords. The other thing I'll say is, rather than playing the melody of this tune, like playing the singing melody, oh, the cuckoo, there's an extra instrumental melody that everyone plays. That's this. Right? So we're going to learn that, but I also came up with an intro of this where it's just playing through the melody, because I think it's a fun thing to do. So, and you kind of learn some nice licks, that sort of thing. So I'll often play the song with this kind of bluegrass style arrangement of the vocal melody. So we'll put that in there. But most of the time when you play this tune, when it goes to take a break on it, you don't take a break over the verse. You take a break over just this little instrumental melody break. So we'll talk about that. Okay, but let's first go through my arrangement, the intro arrangement of the verse melody. So I'll put the first line up. This is what it starts with. And now probably the toughest thing here is you come in on beat 3. 1, 2, oh, the cuckoo. Same thing when we're playing. So let me play this. 1, 2. Right, that's it there. It's mostly just forward rolls, but it's a bit weird because, again, you're coming in on beat 3, so that often throws people off a little bit when you're practicing this. Okay, notice also that I bend this note a little bit. I never really let it sit just by itself. Sounds a little wonky. Okay, moving on. Last two notes there. Next line. Okay, so a couple things here is, notice I'm mostly in this, but I have this little connecting note. Right? And it's just a chromatic connecting note of the two notes of the scale. But it's also often sometimes referred to as the blues scale. So it's nice to kind of throw that note in every so often. And this is just an F chord. The lick. Carrying on. So here the only thing tricky is this rhythm. Again, I'm not playing it straight, I'm giving it a little bit of a bend. But this rhythm is called a quarter note triplet. It's best just to kind of hear it and feel it, but it sounds like this. 1, 2. I played it actually a little funky there. Right, so again, this is all relatively straightforward. It's forward rolls, but they're in kind of weird rhythms. So if this feels tough for you, don't worry about it. It's tough for a lot of people because the rolls kind of don't match up with the standard like first beat of the roll. Okay, continuing on. Now we have another quarter note triplet. 1, 2. Okay, so this is just, it's basically the same exact melody as the first 8 bars, the last F part, but we've kind of changed it up a little bit here. So on the F, I have this little chromatic note, and again this is the lick, but I like this part here as I do double stops. So instead of, it's alright, double double stops, meaning I'm hitting one note and an extra note to kind of emphasize them. Okay, so that's my arrangement of the vocal melody. And I normally, if I'm playing this tune, will do it as like an intro or something like that. It's not a standard solo break, because the solo break is this little instrumental break that I want to teach you. So I'm just going to show it to you here. First, it's all part of this pentatonic scale. Well, no, there's one extra note. But I'm going to show it to you. It goes from this D note. It's that little phrase, just D, C, B flat, G, da, da, dee, da, do, dum. That's the main thing. We do that basically 3 times, right? Ba, ba, dee, da, do, dum. Again, ba, ba, dee, da, do, dum. Then the third time's a little bit different. Ba, ba, dee, da, do, da, dum. Right, we go to this F note here. And then we have this little like legato line. Ba, do, da, da, dee, da, da, do, da, do, da, dee, dum. So that's the instrumental break. But now we're going to do it with rolls. So first thing, I do it just with a forward roll with some pull-offs. Second time I tried to vary it up where I do a Foggy Mountain breakdown roll to start. And this makes it a little bit tougher because our thumb ends that roll, so we have to get the D on the other string. So I get it here on the first string. So notice that this, the second bar there, is almost identical to this, the fourth bar. And it's just, I like to give these options because when you're trying to come up with your own version of playing this, you want to be able to do it both ways. If your thumb can't hit that note, we can get it with our middle finger. So it's nice to entrain your body to be able to do it both ways. Okay, then you get the tougher one. Now here we just do a bunch of pull-offs. All right, and then this little crazy leg. Now, I actually don't know if I did what's written. Let me see what's written on this page. I guess I did it a little bit different there. Now, I'm not so worried if you're practicing this. I'm not so worried that you played exactly like what's written. If you're having a hard time with it, you can play what's written. That's what I generally recommend to my students. But the main thing is that you want to play this legato. It sounds a little weird if you try to pick each note. Like you can do it single string technique where you're just alternating between your thumb and index. But it's much better legato. Right? So you can experiment around and come up with your own way. I think that I tried to do kind of an improvised version of it at the end. You know, it's nice to have a couple different ways of doing this because especially if you're playing this tune, you know, you want to be able to vary it. So I tried to make this in a way that you could see a couple variations that you can do. So experiment around with this instrumental break. It can be a lot of fun. Now, before we go on, I forgot to mention, if you're playing this tune with someone else, when this instrumental break comes up, you have to play the chords. And still the same 2 chords, just G minor and F. But there's something weird about it because the F is played for like an extra 2 beats. So it sounds like this. G minor, ba-do-do-do-dee-da-dum-bum, ba-do-do-do-dee-da-dum-bum, ba-do-do-do-dee-da-da-da. Here's the F, F. Then we have this ba-ba-da-ba-da-ba-da-ba-da-ba-da, but you have that extra 2 beats. Ba-ba-da-ba-da-ba-da-ba, 1, 2, G. Now, the best way to deal with this is just to listen to it. If you know that melody, da-ba-da, da-ba-da-ba-da-ba-da-ba-da-ba-da, it becomes really easy. But some people get really caught up looking at the page going, what, a bar of 2/4? That's going to totally throw me off. It can be confusing if you try to do like a full roll over both of those notes, right? Because if you do, let's say, a forward reverse roll, like you're halfway through the bar when you want to resolve. So physically it can be a little bit different, but if you do like a pinch or, actually even if you do this forward verse, you can do it there. You just have to listen to the melody for when it resolves. So it's not as tough as it might seem if you've never seen a bar of 2/4 in the middle of nowhere. Okay, so I think that's basically it. I'm going to play through it at a slow tempo just so you can have the tab and kind of check yourself, play along with it. So this is what it sounds like. A 1, 2, a 1, 2. Okay, hopefully you enjoy playing this song as much as I do. Till next time. Bye.